So thank you very much, Assistant Director, DOH NCR, Paz Corrales. And joining me today are the members of the EXICOM of the DOH. We have the Undersecretary for Field Implementation and Coordination team, headed by USEC Gerardo Jerry Bayugo, and Assistant Secretary Elmer Punzalan, who is also part of the FICT, and also USEC Roger Tongan of Finance and Administration, and the directors of the Epidemiology Bureau, and also we are glad to recognize the following representatives of the Bureau of Fire Protection, and we have with us to my left is the BFP spokesperson, Fire Superintendent Joan E. Vallejo, and also joining us from the PNP is Police Superintendent Cecilio R. Ison Jr. of the Public Safety Division of the PNP. And in behalf of the DOH, the BFP, and the PNP, I'd like to welcome you to our first press-con of 2019. And I am very glad to report to you that today we have a 68%, and let me repeat that, 68% decline in the number of fireworks-related injuries from December 21, 2018 to January 1, 2019, and that is as of 6 a.m. compared to the 428 cases during the same period last year. This brings the total number of injuries to 139 cases. It's markedly lower than last year, thankfully. Of the total 139 cases, 2 were cases of fireworks ingestion, no stray bullet injury, and no death reported based on our Sentinel reporting sites. No? These are 60 hospitals as Sentinel sites, no reporting sites. Majority of injured were males, or 81%. Ages of cases range from 2 to 69 years old, with a median age of 11 years old. There were 102 cases of blast burn without amputation, 5 cases of blast with amputation, and 36 cases of eye injuries. The regions with the most number of cases came from, as usual, NCR with 53 cases, Western Visayas or Region 6, 26 cases, Central Visayas, 13 cases, and Central Luzon and Calabar Zone with 10 cases each. We are indeed happy to see a 68% decline in the number of cases, but let me just be clear about this. We also expect cases to increase as there are late reports still coming from other regions. And I'd like to posit that most additional injuries during this time may arise from children picking up unexploded fireworks in the streets. So our reminder to the parents to make sure that after the major revelry of 12 midnight, they still have to be on the lookout for their children, to make sure that they don't indiscriminately pick up fireworks on the streets, because the sun is out and it's gonna dry up those fireworks, and they may in all likelihood be explosive once lighted up or once lit up. Okay, so I think this is something that we ought to underscore. The fireworks causing most injuries are Quitis, 30 cases, Boga, 16, Piccolo, 15, Luces, 8, and 5-star, and Triangle with 7 cases each. Most cases occurred at the streets, 73 cases, home, 59, others 5, and 2 from designated fireworks display area. And this is rather unfortunate because we have been saying that a shift to community fireworks display is probably a much more desirable option. But even then, we see how treacherous these fireworks and pyrotechnic devices can be, because ito na nga, designated fireworks display area, pero kahit na paano, meron pa rin sumasabit. So, again, I would like to underscore the fact that not only do we have a much lower incidence, a decline of 68%, but given that we even added 10 additional hospitals as sentinel sites, no, from 50 to 60. So this really is on account of two things I should like to believe, and which the rest of the DOH shares with me in this belief. Number one, EO 28 that was signed by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in 2017, early 2017. In fact, because of that EO, the substantive downward or reduction in the fireworks-related injuries began, and there was 27% decline last year compared to the year prior to last. And this year, we've seen a 68% decline. And again, this is attributable very clearly to the EO 28 signed by President Rodrigo Duterte, which states that the EO prohibits residential and personal use of fireworks and other pyrotechnic devices, and instead shift to community fireworks display. Okay. Now, number two, obviously, and everybody will agree with me here, and I can boldly say that, is nature this time took the side of the DOH. Okay? Which means that it has been raining the past several days, and unrelentingly. And I think this also contributed to a substantive reduction in the fireworks-related injuries. So suffice it for me to say that we are gratified on the one hand with the reduction, but on the other hand, we are saddened because there are still cases related to fireworks, no? Still many injuries. One injury is too much to bear. And so this is what the next steps are for the DOH and the collaborating agencies, is really to do a lot more to achieve a zero casualty, zero fireworks related injuries. So thank you, and we are now open to your questions. We have with us our technical staff from the Epidemiology Bureau, who will answer your very difficult technical questions. So we have the whole team with us. So, ready na ba kayo? Sige, okay. Hindi pa yata kayo natutulog. Sige. Okay, so again, I'd like to thank all of you, our media partners, for joining us today. And I would like to open the floor for questions from our media partners.
Sir, before we start, also joining the panel is Dr. Emmanuel Bueno, the outgoing Medical Center Chief of East Avenue Medical Center.
My apologies to Director to East Avenue Medical Center, Dr. Bong Bueno, may also want to share the experience of the East Avenue Medical Center with regard to the cases admitted and managed by East Avenue Medical Center. And in addition to that, give us some kind of a perspective of how the reduction has been observed compared to the last year and the average 5 years incidents or cases of FW RIs. So my apologies, Dr. Bong Bueno. Okay, so questions from, yes.
Can you please identify yourself and state what network you are connected with?
Sir, good morning. Gerard, Happy New Year po. Gerard from Malaya. Sir, yung Piccolo was remarkably lower compared to previous years. Ano po ang analysis po natin with regards sa Piccolo? What caused the decline po?
I think from the supply side perspective, the Piccolo has been the #1 cause of fireworks-related injuries in the past years, no? And this is declared as an illegal fireworks, and so this explains why there has been a reduction. Plus, of course, since it is illegal, the supply of Piccolo also dwindled. Bumagsak din ng supply. But if you look at the Boga, ito naman yung umakyat. Ano? So, yung creativity ng mga tao, nang wala yung Piccolo, sa Boga naman bumawi. Oo. So, yun lang ang masasabi natin.
Matagal na pong problema yung Piccolo and matagal na rin po siyang declared as illegal. But ano po yung difference this year? Nagkaroon po ba ng enhanced nung policing of sa market po?
Yeah, I think the police representatives, Mr. Aison can answer that.
Yes, sir. Talaga pina-intensify natin sa PNP yung pagkakandak ng operation dito sa mga illegal vendors para sa dito sa mga illegal na paputok na i-declare natin. So, kasama na yun. Lahat po nung illegal na hindi authorized.
Is there a follow-up question regarding Piccolo from other networks? Ms. Maki Pulido, do you have a question? Since you're the only one, you're looking at me.
Sir, di ba ho lahat naman yan illegal? And every year we say that we intensify the operations, but it's still there. I mean, it's still nasa market pa rin. So, may but ho ba dun sa statement ninyo kanina?
Mamapalagay ko po ito yung meron pa rin mga nag-underground despite na yung inano namin na dapat ay yung lahat ng mga nagtitinda ay naka-display talaga. So, pero yung mga bawal po, talagang kalimitan naman yan underground. Pero yan pa rin po ang ating ikinakandak ng na hulihin sila.
Are there any other more questions? More questions, please? Please identify yourself. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Benji Liwanag of DCWB. Tatanong ko lang, Secretary, like yung sa fireworks area, kasi may mga injuries pa rin tayo. Dalawa. Now, paano pa po natin mapag-iibayo ito? At least may injury. Pero ang sinasabi, yung mga tao, hinihikayat natin na dun pumunta para mawala na nga po, pero ngayon nagkaroon ng ganito. How could we prevent or ito ho ba may mga proper na rin ito, mga tao like ambulances, yung mga emergency na pwedeng tumugon kagad in case of emergency, Secretary?
Well, with regard to the first part of your question, we will continue to investigate because these are fresh reports and we haven't incisively looked into the underlying reasons. But I would like to posit that one of the underlying or possible reasons can be hindi tama yung pangangasiwa ng kanilang community fireworks display. Baka hindi miyembro ng kapulisan ang siyang suminde nitong mga pyrotechnic devices. So, nagkaroon ng disgrasya. Although, dalawa lang, disgrasya pa rin. Ano? And tama naman yung punto mo, hinihikayat natin ng taong bayan na sumali o makibahagi sa fireworks or community fireworks display tapos meron tayong ganitong setback. Obviously, this is a setback. But like I told you, we need to understand what happened here. We need to identify the exact underlying reasons. Sino ba yung nagsindi? Yung ba nagsindi na yun, hindi naman ensayado, hindi naman trained, hindi naman pala member ng PNP. No? Ano ba tawag niya? Bomb squad ba nila? Yung mga, yun. Yung mga nagsisindi, no? Oo. So, that's one. But I'm just theorizing, no? This is hypothetical. But this will warrant an investigation by our field epidemiology training fellows. And yeah, there she is, yung nakasalamin. And so, that's one. Number two, yung emergency naman, yung ambulances, meron naman, ano? But usually, the nature of the transport is, I think, it's kung may taxi, dalhin na kaagad kasi kung mag-aantay pa, baka naman masyadong matagalan, time is of the essence. So whatever transport is available, dalhin na kaagad. And that's what we have been telling the public.
Secretary, yung follow-up ko po, pwede ho ba natin i-identify yung area kung saan yung merong dalawang nasugatan?
We will do that. Can you please identify those two areas? We will give it to you after this. We will supply you with more information, but limited. Because as I have said, these are fresh reports from the ground.
Thank you very much, Secretary.
Yes, Ms. Pulido.
Secretary Duque, despite the EO, tapos yung continuous campaign po ng DOH, and despite the reduction, meron pa rin. And you said you're sad na nangyayari pa rin despite the campaigns, despite the EOs. So do you think it's time for the DOH to call for a total ban?
The DOH position has been consistent, and I think we've always been supportive of a total ban. But the total ban cannot be executed cavalierly without the benefit of really identifying alternative livelihood activities or programs so that those who will be adversely affected by assuming the ban gets implemented, or if legislation is forthcoming to absolutely ban this, we cannot be reckless. We have to be very clear about what will be the alternative livelihood programs for people who will be displaced because of the ban. So I think that is the more compelling reason that we ought to look into. And this cannot just be within the domain of the DOH, but it has to collaborate with the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Labor and Employment, and also the Department of Finance, because it has a lot of implications. Now, going back to the designated area, Regions 4A and NCR, ito yung Dragon Firecracker. Region 4A in particular, Batangas City, yung Quitis, no? Yun yung nakadisgrasya, at saka dun sa NCR, Dragon Firecracker, Santa Ana, Manila. So yun yung sagot sa pangalawang bahagi ng inyong pong katanungan. Yes, going back, Maki, to you. Your question is rather loaded.
Next year, posible po mababa yun, but without a total ban, tataas ulit po siya, and then every year the cycle days, it will always be like this, more than 100.
Well, let me tell you this. Let's appreciate it for the time being that there has been a 68% reduction. And then later on, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. I mean, if we'll see, who knows, it will rain cats and dogs again. Hopefully, yes. But of course, that's rather superficial. Seriously, I think that total ban is the way to go. If Davao City has exemplified total ban and therefore zero casualty, why can't the home Philippines do it under the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte, who was once a long-time serving mayor of Davao City and engineered the zero fireworks-related injuries of Davao City. So I think the president is already going there. And that's why we're very fortunate to have a president who can actually, or rather has the bragging rights, that Davao continues to have zero casualties related to any form or forms of fireworks. So palagay ko papunta na tayo dyan.
Other
Yes.
question, sir? Sir?
Injuries sa mata. May correlation ba to dun sa parang mas nag-shift sila sa mga pailaw rather than dun sa mga paputok?
Well, it's the boga that sort of compensated. Parang dito bumawi sa boga. Nung bumagsak ang Piccolo from number 1 to number 3, yung boga naman umakyat to number 1. Yung boga kasi kung titingnan mo the way it's done, dalawang may butas yan, magkabila, sinisindihan, may backfire, at posibleng doon nadadali ang mata. Siguro ang Bureau of Fire and Protection might want to elaborate.
Sir, actually hindi po kasi kami concerned doon sa ng composition po ng paputok yung paggawa niya mismo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yun lang yon. So far yun lang yon. But of course our EB, our field epidemiologists will look into this more thoroughly and if not incisively. Sheila?
Yes, ma'am.
I should like to believe this is the historic biggest reduction in the fireworks-related injuries. Remember, there were also times in the past na umuulan din, pero malakas din, mataas din yung fireworks-related injuries. No, it's not as if this is an isolated event. There were events in the past. I recall when I was Secretary of Health the first time around, we did have once or twice New Year celebration. It was also raining, but the number of cases was very high.
Follow up?
Yung ngayon, ito po ba yung gawa pa sa PVC pipes or nabibenta na rin? Kasi years ago, nagsimula siya sa mga PVC pipes lang. Ngayon po, ano na siya, nabibenta?
Yes, ma'am. Bali, ganun pa rin po yung ng boga. Bali, ang description niya, parang PVC siya or yung lata ng mga soft drinks na pinagdudugtong, nilalagyan ng tape. Tapos ginagamitan ng denatured alcohol, tsaka sinisindihan, pumuputok. So, ganun po yung boga. Yun nga po, maaring ng injury dahil meron siyang backblast. So, yung kung halimbawa mga bata ang naglalaro nito, merong sa likuran, pag tinamaan, posible pong talagang ma-injured.
Yes, ma'am.
To the big drop in cases, no? You mentioned na even if it rained before, it's not an isolated case. Compared to the 5-year trend, how big was the 5-year average? How big was the drop?
It's 80% drop, even more profound the reduction if you use as a comparator your 5-year average. Okay, it's 80%. So it's really substantive. Talagang napakalaki ng binagsak. But of course, alam niyo, ibinalik din natin kasi yung mga dati natin panakot. Alam mo, effective sa mga Pinoy ang sa mga pasaway yung takutan strategy or approach. So binalik na naman natin yung mga nasunugan, nasabugan ng kamay. Asan ba yung mga kuwan ko? Asan? Yan, yung mga yan. So binalik natin yan kasi for a while nawala yan eh. No? So we put it back. So, plus our continuous unrelenting DOH campaign through the tri-media and interviews by the EXICOM members very responsively engage during media interviews. So our people on the ground, the community engagement is very important. The fora that we have been conducting with the various communities, especially those with consistently posted high numbers of injuries. NCR, Manila, Quezon City, ayan mga yan. So, kahit na sila pa rin ang may pinakamataas, pero relatively bumagsak pati yung kanilang mga bilang. No? So, lahat ito ay tingin ko complementary to each other. All these, the EO28, the nature, the heavenly divine intervention, and then of course the DOH stepping up, pinaigting natin yung ating social marketing against, not for, but against fireworks. No? So this is part of it.
Other questions, please? Yes, Ma'am Sheila.
Yes, ma'am. For December, ma'am, we had one firecracker-related fire incident, but that was vehicular. That happened December 26 in Bukawi, Bulacan. Dahil ito po yung nagkarga po siya ng pyrotechnics sa kanyang tricycle, then tumukod po yung tungkod ang tawag. So we do not have this in the list ng paputok yung tinatawag nilang tungkod. Tumukod po ito and then nagliyag. So the whole tricycle was burned. Yun lang po ang the only case natin ng firecracker-related fire incidents. Vehicular po siya. Pero po sa pagpasok po ng bagong taon mula po kaninang alas 12 ng gabi hanggang po sa ngayon, nanatiling zero ang ating firecracker-related fire incidents. And we only had 7 fire incidents recorded, 6 of which are from NCR and 1 is from Ilocos. And if we compare that to last year, that's 82.35% drop sa sunog po na insidente. Kasi po last year of the same period, we had 34 fire incidents. Compared ngayon, 7 po, hanggang sa oras po na ito. Sa palagay ko ma'am, it is not about the rain or because of the rain, kasi po ang leading po na cause ng sunog natin ay electrical. So this means yun pa rin po mga pagluluto na iniwanan, overheating mga electrical appliances, and then yung hindi po pag-unplug ng ating pong mga appliances before we go to sleep. Yes, sir.
Fire Superintendent Vallejo, this morning may isang casualty sa Pasig City dun sa namatay. A 60-year-old women ay yung namatay dun sa ano. Meron na ho ba tayo nung cause of fire? Saka kung anong...
Yes, sir. Ito po yung nangyari po sa Pasig, ang sunog. And sadly, no, we had one fatality, a 6-year-old woman, Mrs. Josefina Arnyadar. And then meron pong 5, hindi po sila injured. They are now confined at the PGH at suffocation po, smoke inhalation. Ang kanila pong bahay, actually it's not a house but it's a tiangge. That's around 20 square meters po ang laki. And then nasunog po ito. Pagod po kasi po yung mga may-ari, gawa po ng magdamag po, siguro nagbibenta sila. Hindi po sila kaagad nakalabas. And then ang sunog po ay sanhi po ay electrical. Hindi rin po siya firecracker. Hindi po. It is not firecracker related, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ray Pilaya po from UNTV. Sa PNP po, meron daw pong indiscriminate firing na may mga nasugat. Tama po ba, sir? May record po ba tayo? Tsaka po meron daw pong 3 stray bullet na isa injured. Totoo po ba yung data na yun, sir?
ng stray bullet. So nandito sa record natin, isa sa NCRPO, isa sa Procor, tsaka isa po sa Pro 11. So ang ano lang po dito ay yung merong isang injured incident. So bali 3 incident po.
Can I just make a clarification here? Because the stray bullet incident has some technical meaning from the perspective of the PNP and from the DOH. Kasi yung sa DOH, technically, yung stray bullet, we define it as nagpaputok sa taas, okay? Tapos bumaba. Sa kanila kasi, kahit na yung bullet, horizontal ang trajectory, tinamaan ng bahay, counted na yun as a stray bullet. Tama ba? Okay. So, iba yun, ha? So, we'll have to make that fine differentiation. So, yung sa amin, sa taas, and revelry, connected to the celebration. Okay? Eh, sa kanila, naputukan lang, kahit na horizontal ang trajectory, kahit na bahay, o na ano tawag mo doon, na nagalusan, nadaplisan, that's already considered a stray bullet. That's how they define it. So there's a technical nuance, no, to the definition.
Yes, sir.
Sir, may figure lang po tayo. Ilan yung active users dun sa mga naputukan? Ilan po yung passive?
64% are active users, and the lower, the balance is the passive users, yung mga innocent bystanders na putukan. You know, I was in Jose Reyes yesterday. We were in Jose Reyes yesterday, and there was a lady that we saw with a bandaged finger and some also on the knees. And then I asked her, ano nangyari? Dumadaan yung tricycle, sidecar, andun ako nakaupo, tapos may suminde, padaan kami, sumabog sa kanila. So, yun yung ehemplo ng passive user.
Sir, yung 64% active, and yung figure, sir, was it higher or lower yung number ng active and passive users na na-injured?
Higher yung percentage of the active users, but overall the use has been reduced. So yung percentage tumaas ng kaunti, hindi naman ganun ka 53 last year and now it's 64%. So that's probably about 10-12% higher. But overall, the incidence of fireworks related injuries is much lower.
Question? Ma'am, sandali. Sir, kayo muna.
Sir, what can you say naman dun sa pagbaba ng firecracker related injuries, pero parang tumataas naman ngayon yung incidents ng mga drunk driving? Would the DOH also include yung campaign na yan next year? Or
Drunk driving, may batas na yan di ba? So, it's an enforcement issue rather than a legal issue because the law is already there. There's a law against drunk driving. There are punitive measures to address drunk driving, and I'm not sure about the incidents if it's increasing. Sa ONICE, we have the system, the online, we call it the ONICE, the online National Electronic Injury Surveillance System, ONEISS. Okay, ONICE, divine, mali yata. All-night naman yun. Sige.
Secretary, we're yet to get the data from the DNR regarding kung tumaas yung pollution sa hangin. Pero pag ganito ba, sir, may record tayo kung tumataas din yung bilang ng mga naapektuhan itong pollution?
Well, let's surmise that it goes up, because you have more pollutants in the air. But again, this has been neutralized because of very high humidity. The air has so much water in it, and therefore what happens is it precipitates all the pollutants, and then they solidify, and then they settle down. And that's why it's good if it rains, it really neutralizes pollution.
Sa PNP naman po, sir, confirm po ba merong 7 pulis na kasama dun sa 26 na indiscriminate firing, sir?
Ilan po? Ilan?
7 daw, sir. 7.
7. Dito sa record ko kasi hindi ko pa na 7 nga talaga yung na PNP yung involved. Yung iban talaga.
Paano investigation ito, sir? Meron ba tayo?
Yes, sir. Nagkakandak po tayo ng investigation sa ganito para ma-identify natin kung sino po talaga ang perpetrator, kung PNP, AFP, or any other law enforcement agencies or civilians.
So, sir, it's still under investigation for... Yes, ma'am?
Trying to confirm. Totoo po ba na mas maraming itinakbo daw sa mga emergency rooms related to not firecrackers pero related to the celebration of eating too much, of inhaling too much smoke, or imbibing too much alcohol? Were there more patients na ganun po yung kaso instead of firecracker related injuries? Like in the case of East Avenue?
Can we have Dr. Bong Bueno, our East Avenue Center Chief, Medical Center Chief?
Actually, after nung 12 o'clock kagabi, we have only 2 firecracker related, pero dumagdag ito after 12. Kalakip niyan yung pag-increase ng ating trauma patients, no? Like nasasaksak, vehicular accidents. And this is actually an experience na nangyayari naman taon-taon. But talagang maganda yung nangyari ngayon dahil sa we have experienced a lower firecracker injuries, including other injuries what's related to vehicular and stabbing and gunshot. On the other hand, yung mga medical conditions natin ay hindi naman po palagi nating naiiwasan. Andyan pa rin po sila, like tinatawag nating cerebrovascular accidents or stroke sa utak, and yung mga hypertension, nandyan pa po rin sila. And we expect na nandyan po, including of course yung mga gastroenteritis, which is related to maaring food intake or water intake din.
Let me just add a little bit more to that. The NCDs, non-communicable diseases, number 1 killer or the killers, most common causes of deaths. No, number 1 is coronary artery disease, and then you have the cerebrovascular disease, and then you have diabetes. So ito yung already established as the top 4 killers. No? Pneumonia is also one of them. So ito naman year in, year out, and I'm sure there's going to be a slight surge during the festive months of December up to January because of excess food. Ang number 1 kalaban ng tao dito, kalabisan. Okay? So, kaya hindi rin katakataka, nung nagpunta kami sa East Avenue, well, not East Avenue, but Philippine Orthopedic Center, we saw some NCDs, yung mga na stroke or yung mga nagkaroon ng dati ng problema sa puso. So, hindi yan katakataka. May surge siguro kung mga kapaskuhan at bagong taon, yung celebration, sumusobra sa toma, sumusobra sa pagkain. Ang sabi nga natin, avoid the 3 S's. Too much salt, the first S. Too much sugar or sweets, the number 2 S. And number 3 is sebo. Okay? Lahat ng masarap. Lahat, ano mo, dapat yan, dahil masarap nga, you have to be smart. Now, how does one become smart in the face of, bountiful food, pagkain? Kurot-kurot lang. Kurot-kurot lang. Mapupulo din yung tiyan mo, kakakurot. No? Ang problema kasi yung iba, parang walang bukas, gabundok, kumuha. Ibig sabihin, nakakasabay ako, buntok-buntok lang. Sabi ko, maubos mo ba yan? Ay, sarap sabi niya gano'n. Baka mamaya mahilo ka, mapunta ka sa ICU or ICU no more. Yun ang magiging problema doon. Dalawa lang pagpipilian natin. Gastroenteritis, kasama yan. Food poisoning, naku, laganap yan. No, hypertension. Ang palusot lagi ng mga Pilipino, may gamot naman kung cholesterol, may lipitor naman. Ayoko magsalita ng branded product. Meron naman statins. Yung mga tawag na statins. Okay? Meron mga antihypertensives, no? So, yun ang natutunan natin sa mga allopathic medicine. Ibig sabihin nun, okay lang umabuso, may gamot Tapos yung gamot, akala mo naman talagang tunay na gamot, ang saksakan pala ng toxic effects. I don't even call them side effects. I call them now real toxic effects. Sometimes the therapeutic toxicity effect approaches 1. So, minsan yung toxicity, therapeutic effect, halos 1:1. So, hindi tama. So, mag-exercise na lang. Exercise is so important. It's now recognized as a treatment for hypertension, for diabetes, and many other conditions involving the circulatory system. Okay? So, hindi na siya feel-good activity ang exercise. It's a treatment. So, pwede ba mag-exercise tayong lahat? Walking, libre. Ba't tayo bibili ng gamot? Libre naman. Binigyan tayo ng Diyos na kakayahan para kontrahin itong mga kalabisan.
Secretary? Sek, binagit nyo na rin po yung gamot sa cholesterol. Baka pwede nyo lang sagutin po yung makuha din statement nyo regarding dito sa discount sa gamot sa cholesterol, which is under the train law. Opo. Ano po ba yung, ilan po ba magbe-benefit dito, sir? And paano magiging proseso dito, sir?
Well, January 1 effective, the VAT exemption on drugs and medicines for hypertension, for high cholesterol, and for diabetes. No? So, some people have asked me in my interviews why it's limited to these 3 only. Why not include anti-cancer? Pupunta rin tayo dyan. But now, it's best to address these first 3 because they're the most common maintenance medications for which a lot of our people are spending an inordinate amount of money. No? So, maganda na yung ma-exempt siya, but we are sensitive as well to the clamor of certain quarters, especially those representing cancer patients, no? Na the medications can run into millions, no? And can really be economically devastating. More than sometimes the illness which is catastrophic, what is more devastating is the amount of money needed to buy medicines for breast cancer, prostate cancer. But papunta na tayo dyan. Ang importante, unahin natin itong most common medications.
Secretary, clarification lang po. Ibig sabihin, pag senior citizen, magiging 32% ang discount niya po dun sa gamot. Ganun po ba? Kasi paano po yon, sinasabi daw po sa batas na pag ang isang butika is less than 3 million yung kanyang sales, parang exempted ata sila doon, hindi sila pwedeng magbigay ng discount. Tama po ba yung sinasabi nila, sir?
I'm sorry, I haven't really read the provisions of the law, but that's rather strange and that's administratively difficult to manage because then you have to look into the income of each of these butikas or each of these pharmacies And that might actually defeat the very purpose of the law. Because ano mangyayari dun sa senior citizen? Katulad ni Bong. Oh, alangan naman pupunta siya, hahanapin niya yung butika na ang kinikita more than 3 million, so I can get. And what if that's 20 kilometers away from his home? Di ba parang kalokohan yata yun? Defeats the very intent and spirit of the law.
Can we have last question, ma'am?
Sir, magkakaroon po ba ng parang monitoring system ang DOH to monitor yung compliance ng mga pharma and drug stores dun sa batas?
Kasama na ho yan sa IRR na ginawa. Natapos na ba yung IRR nitong batas na ito? Hindi pa? So, siguro doon na lang sa IRR tutugunan itong concern na ito.
Ano po yung magiging role ng DOH sa implementation?
Well, as an oversight, at saka FDA, as a regulatory and oversight agency, they will have to make sure that the provisions of the law are complied with as strictly as possible.
Sir, may panawagan kayo sa mga pharma and drug stores since dapat ma-implement na today?
Well, ang panawagan natin, sundan natin ang batas para nang sa ganun hindi tayo magkaroon ng problema. Otherwise, baka kayo makasuhan, lumayo kayo sa ganun problema. Hindi natin kailangan ng mga ganun problema. Alam naman natin na there is only 7%, okay, of senior citizens in the total population of about 104 million. So, ilagay na lang natin for purposes of illustration and computation. Let's do it at 100 million. 7% of that is 7 million. And the rest will not be covered. Di ba? So, except for those mga may sakit nga, ang karamihan mga senior citizens. So, I'm sure that the boutiques, the pharmacy, will pass on that cost to the bigger percentage of our population, which is 93%. So, may pagkukunan, yan yung sinasabi ko. Parang socialized siya in a way. Implicitly socialized.
Kasi kailan daw po makikinabang dun sa batas na yan, sir?
Well, kung yan mga yan, may sakit. So, hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, karamihan dyan mga senior citizens. So, 7 million. At the most, yan ang market niya na maapektuhan. Positively, that is.
One last question, please.
Make it 2.
Last 2 questions. Wala na. So,
If you want about the tropical depression Usman, what's happening? Hindi na?
anybody would want to ask about any updates on the Typhoon Usman?
Yeah.
In,
Let's capitalize on this.
Yes, sir. Secretary?
Yes, please.
Based dun sa report ng NDRRMC 71, pero based po sa inyo, meron na dagdag po ba na mga casualties? Can you update us on that, Secretary?
Well, actually, you have updated me because based on our our figure last night, 67 deaths, 56 in Bicol, 10 in Samar, 1 in Car. So most of the deaths are due to landslides, 12 injuries, 4 still admitted at JB Duran Memorial Hospital in Bicol. Preposition, we have preposition 7.6 million pesos worth of logistics. And we have augmented supplies in the amount of 4.3 million. And then explosion in the Don Rufino Alfonso Street, Cotabato City. 2 deaths, 31 injured, brought mostly to Cotabato Regional Medical Center. So those are just the updates. So last question. Yeah, we have preposition, part of the prepositioning is doxycycline. So we have already cascaded, the supply to that area for because you will expect a surge in lepto cases. the hygiene kits are given, the RUTF, the water containers, jerry cans, the family kits, food packs, DSWD pala yun, hindi na sa ating wala. Okay, so
Any more?
thank you very much, everyone.
Sir, so in behalf of Department of Health and together with PNP and the Bureau of Fire, in coordination with the East Avenue Medical Center, we would like to thank you for your presence here and we greet you a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay.